Akwa Ibom anthem. So song title Timboy beng on you continue da kuko the kai suida kuko ida members sunu young coach chaplain Ministry of Culture and Tourism no yeri beri event minonyan aberu soro minonyan ye ukoro kam ke but so song.
Our most heavenly Father, we bless your name for a day like this. A day you have so much ordained, and we have behold it. We say your name may highly be glorified in the name of Jesus. Father, we thank you for the leadership of our governor. We thank you for his cabinet. We thank you for these programs and all the visitors that we have. We say receive glory in the name of Jesus. The rest of the activity, Father, we leave it into your mighty hand to continue with us. And so we declare this meeting open in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit in the name of Jesus.
Boy, Emiobok. Kuyangin mo yung boy by song, pero se vantro. So song title, Emiobok no. Chaplain, Ministry of Culture and Tourism. Thank you. It's a song title. Timboga ben freeway sugeti. It's a song of Tai TT. It's a song of Tai TT. Ladies and gentlemen, guests and dignitaries, all of us that have come to be part of this event, we thank you very specially and welcome you to the commemoration of the World Heritage Day 2025. Imisunu yi koma da frewo sinima inyongi wondi adikene nyandara usen ekoro kiko makara World Heritage Day. Mframeru usene siogenam adidara nyong toyo mempo ametenyen ke yoiset ege kama kubok moenam yongi mani toyo song podo tubut usong pon nyene ki mana ke mana dikat nteba kirong nyen adugo basi non nyene yana mukang eyaganyi who is here represented by Elder Okokon, a person who is ably and visibly so interpreting the vision of His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State in the cultural and tourism sector of Akwa Ibom State. Our chief host on this occasion, the Honorable Commissioner in charge of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, the very young, the very erudite, the very dynamic Minister, Honorable Commissioner, Dr. Anieti Udofia, who is here today with his very beautiful wife. Commissioner, can we please put our hands together? Thank you so much. Let me welcome all other commissioners who are here present, most especially the commissioner in charge of the Ministry of Environment. Thank you so much for being here. Right Honorable Sikak Ekong. You come very specially. The chief host on this occasion, a man who we all respect, our father. He is the father of this occasion, father of all of us in Akwa Ibom State. Then Fanemi, you very honored that in here ki event me. Our father of the day, Ado Deo Kuibomi Bibio, His Eminence, Ntenyan Solomon Etuk, And then Kiventemi. Award Arano and Kiventemi, the paramount ruler of Ibesikwa, Sultan local government area. Please put your hands together. Ebenge frewe miobok welcome. Okuibo mibibio. Ayenso ofungo boro. Afungo boro. So song taiteti. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Temaiki kom okuibo mibibio. Misro ye kom landlord nyen. Ke ukang ikpa isong. Award go the paramount ruler of Uyo local government area. Boge benge frewe mio boge no edidem Sylvanus Okun. E mio boge no yen. Emio boge no yen sanga yen wana mo. Emio boge no edidem. So song tieti. Thank you so very much. Mr. You come all the local government chairmen who are here present and thank them very specially. Make a chairman me. Chairman Ibesikbo Sultan, the very young chairman of Ibesikbo. Thank you so much for being here. Emio boge no chairman. Make a chairman Surubium. Make a chairman Ikorebene. Thank you so much indeed for being University of Uyo. Please put welcome all our guests, welcome our dignitaries, cultural groups, welcome local government groups, welcome tribal and ethnic nationalities that have come to be here present. There are very many of them. It's so song or tight. Now move a Nima Ikene Woidi. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for making this event to be filled. Welcome you very specially. Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State here represented, Honorable Commissioners, our fathers, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Event maybe tongo. And then bosan yini yemi kam amberu song usoro nyen frame. Aru ikwo welcome song. Abigido performed by the Council for Arts and Culture, okay, Akwa Ibom State. As we welcome very specially the Council for Arts and Culture, okay, Akwa Ibom State. We man sang sopu kori se. Bumi obok no mo ya sopu kori sang. Mi obok no mo.
122. Thank you very much. Also for arts and culture for that wonderful performance. Thank you guys very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. While the cultural and arts and culture were performing, the members that have been called and in the state constituency, Right Honorable Lawrence Noide came in. Let's welcome him. Thank you very much for coming, sir. We also have the head of admin and supply, both hotels and tourism board, Mrs. Nekreke Amanam. She's in the building. God is celebrating you. Thank you very, very much. There is. Thank you very much. A brief announcement before we have the Honorable Commissioner come up for his address. A brief announcement. The great students of University of Uyoebara, the building in Bobok, the gallery, so that quite day thank you very much, because we know you are going to hit to that. Up next, we will have our Honorable Commissioner for
Culture and Tourism, no other person than Dr. Anyeti Nsewu Udofia, come up for a welcome address. Please let us welcome and celebrate the Honorable Commissioner for Culture and Tourism for his welcome address.
Yaubonga yene basi. Yaubonga yene basi. Esre nemeteti kusemfne mediba yendu for me. May come His Excellency, the visionary leader of our state, the compassionate leader, the governor that has broken jinx, His Excellency Pastor Umar Basi, no PhD. Now, you know, in fact, we approve that you stage this event today, the World Heritage Day. Yaba said on may come our paramount ruler of Nsurubium, ably represented by the paramount ruler of Ibesipo, Sayabasudion, for coming. Ibesipo Sultan. May come the paramount ruler of Uyo local government, Abarameyanyan, that the medio. May come all the clan heads, the chiefs, the village heads of all the villages in Uyo, Ibesipo, and all other local governments that are here present. May come the chairman of Uyo Capital City Development Authority, Honorable Nyetieka. May come the member representing Ini State Constituency, a member of the committee as a Mbobanga Culture and Tourism, Kwaibom State House or Assembly. May come the chairman of Ikodekpene local government area, welcomes her. May come the chairman of Ibesipo as Auntie for coming. God bless you, mommy. Event was supposed to be held yesterday, being the 18th day of April, but because of the sensitivity of that day, we had to move it to today. Today, we gather to celebrate World Heritage Day, also known as the International Day for Monuments and Sites. This year's theme, Heritage under Threat from Disaster and Conflicts, Preparedness and learning from 60 years of ECOMOS action emphasizes the need for awareness on safeguarding heritage sites from natural or man-made disasters. Our team, which is the Akwa Ibom team, Cultural Heritage and Economic Development, optimizing the tourism component of the ARISE agenda, is particularly relevant to our state's vision for progress and innovation. Heritage represents the traditions, achievements, beliefs, and symbolism that are part of our history as a people. In Akwa Ibom State, our heritage does not only hinge on hospitality, our heritage transcends beyond our luscious cuisines and lush greens, clean and serene environment. Our uniqueness lies in our true resilience, integrity, and unity of purpose to protect that which God has blessed us with. It is therefore incumbent on us to strive to protect our heritage by preserving it and exploring the many untapped products and underlying potentials embedded in our tourism and harnessing them for long-term gains. Akwa Ibom State's rich cultural heritage is a testament to our people's resilience, creativity, and unity in diversity. By leveraging our cultural heritage, we can, 1, create new opportunities for economic growth and job creation, promote cross-cultural understanding and exchange, showcase Akwa Ibom State's unique attraction and experiences to the world, enhance our state's reputation and competitiveness in the global market, strengthen our pride of place in the Committee of Nations. The ARISE agenda, championed by a visionary governor, Pastor Umar Basieno, PhD, recognizes the critical role of culture and tourism in driving economic growth and development. We are taking bold steps towards repositioning tourism in Akwa Ibom State, including the near completion of the ARISE Park in Uyo, the construction of the International Conference Center, the conscious infrastructure renaissance in the hospitality sector, renovation of Ibom Motel, our continuous improvement and maintenance of our sports facilities makes it more glaring that we have a governor who is not just a passionate one about tourism, but making sure that tourism is developed for potential gains. On Thursday, 17th April 2025, our amiable and visionary governor, His Excellency, Pastor Umar Basieno, PhD, was honored as a live patron of the Nigerian Entertainment and Economic Roundtable in Abuja, and Akwa Ibom State emerged as the lead state out of 5 states in tourism development. This is another win and step in the right direction for us as a state. Since I assumed office as the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Culture and Tourism on February 24, 2025, we have spread and entrepreneurship. This means a tree does not make a forest, and together we can move a mountain. Emedio, thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Amiable and Honorable Commissioner Nyen. Please put your hands together. Put your hands together for the Honorable Commissioner in charge of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. Amiable and Honorable Commissioner. Yanse me Commissioner Ikore local government area, Honorable Nefyong Kom, thank you so much. And here, you say, put your hands together. Panakban Monsignor Stan get plaza, let us also welcome in a very special way the immediate past commissioner in the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. He now sits as the managing director of Ibom Hotels and is also a delivery advisor to His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. Please put your hands together. Make feel very welcome. Knight of St. John's, Sir Charles Udo. Amy Oborenokan, Commissioner Engineer, thank you so much. Welcome also very specially, wife of the Algon Chairman, Mrs. Uwemedimo Udo, thank you so much indeed for being here. Imi koma ta frefrewo si woidi adi Canadiana Yenyan celebrate the World Heritage Day 2025. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, next item on this order of events are the keynote address. And keynote address in Yanfonemi, Utangi ko kiko, Ukuriko, Anyini Yeme, Arise, as far as World Heritage Day 2025 are concerned. Ado Yenyan, a proud son of Akwa Ibom State who was born 61 years ago, and he's a Nigerian-born artist, and a Mutumke, Washington, D.C. A young model, Victor Ekpuk. Victor Ekpuk came to prominence through paintings and drawings which reflects indigenous African philosophies of the Nsabidi and Uli art forms. Live from his studios in Washington, D.C. to give us a keynote address on this occasion. Son of Akwa Ibom State, son of a put your hands together and make feel very welcome our brother Victor Ekpuk. Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank the Honorable Commissioner of Culture of Akwa Ibom State for inviting me to give my thoughts on culture and tourism and development. My name is Victor Ekpuk. I am an internationally renowned multidisciplinary artist based in Washington, D.C. in the United States. I was born and raised in Uyo, but my art reimagines the ancient Ibibio communication system called Nsibidi. I use it to explore a diverse spectrum of meaning, addressing historical narratives, the contemporary African diaspora, and the humanities' connection to the sacred. I have been practicing art for over 3 decades. My works are in numerous prestigious public and private collections, including Smithsonian National Museum for African American History and Culture in Washington, D.C., Smithsonian National Museum of African Art, also in Washington, D.C. I have a sculpture at the Library of Design in Dubai and UAE. I have work in the collection of the World Bank in Washington, D.C. I have a 17-foot metal sculpture at the international headquarters of the Arab Bank Corporation in the Kingdom of Bahrain. My works are in Boston Museum of Fine Arts in the USA, Kiran Nada Museum of Art in New Delhi, India, Elizabeth Miller Sculpture Center in the USA, the Hood Museum in the United States, and United States Art in Embassy's art collection, among many. I've also been commissioned to create large-scale public art by the Ministry of Culture of Saudi Arabia. Of course, I mentioned the Arab Bank Corporation in the Kingdom of Bahrain, which I have a 17-foot sculpture that graces the front of the international headquarters. The Phillips Collection is also in a 100 years old private museum, also in Washington, D.C. North Carolina Museum of Art, Memphis Brooks Museum, all in the United States, and Washington, D.C. government have recently commissioned me to do a sculpture in one of the neighborhoods. My current project is a large 17 feet mosaic mural that was commissioned by the Maryland Art Council, also in Washington, D.C. So for this panel, I've been tasked with a few questions to share my thoughts on the cultural state of Akwa Ibom State. I would say that Akwa Ibom State boasts a very rich and vibrant cultural heritage stemming from its diverse ethnic groups. Each group contributes unique customs, norms, and traditions, making the state a very fascinating cultural tapestry. I mean, so just a glimpse of the few things that are what I'm talking about in terms of cultural expressions in Akwa Ibom State. While English is the official language of Akwa Ibom, but Akwa Ibom is also home to over 20 languages, with Ibibio being the most widespread, following Anang, Oron, Ibono, and Eket. There are several festivals in Akwa Ibom State. It's as well, to elaborate what I just said. In terms of economic benefits, revenue generation, increase revenue through entry fees, accommodation, transportation, and tourism-related services. We're talking about job creation now. As I speak, I believe that the unemployment level in Akwa Ibom is really high. An investment in the cultural sector and the tourism sector could help to alleviate those. Because the tourism sector will create a wide range of employment opportunities for local communities, including jobs in hospitality business, tour operators, crafts, transportation, just a whole lot of domino effect of money coming into Akwa Ibom from tourism that could benefit a whole lot of people, that alleviates suffering and poverty. Tourism spending will also boost local businesses, including restaurants, shops, selling local products, and entertainment venues. It would also help with infrastructural development. So we'll have roads and airports, utilities, which benefit both the tourists and residents. And on that note, actually, in terms of infrastructure development, I would like to give kudos to the Akwa Ibom State government. In the state of Akwa Ibom State government roads, I believe so far we're working on, I see really good network of roads, and they're continuing to build. I would like to give them kudos for that. And I would also like to give kudos to, I believe that, Ibom Air is probably the best airline in the country right now. So bringing in this tourism and having people come in to use these facilities, these infrastructures, would really help put Akwa Ibom on the map. It would also help to diversify Akwa Ibom State government from over-dependent on the oil sector. This would also help to create a more resilient and diverse economy, because the oil sector also depends on what is happening globally, So creating that second leg of economic structure, I think, really helps with the state as well. So in terms of preservation of our cultural heritage, if we invest in heritage sites that help to preserve and promote the unique cultural identities of our diverse people, I think it's really important. when we have to showcase our traditions, develop sites. When we have sites that are already developed, they can serve as a platform for showcasing traditional festivals, arts, crafts, languages, keeping these traditions alive for future generation. We don't want to create a new generation that has no memory of its past. So I believe that maintaining and keeping these sites would help a lot, for our youth that are coming. Developing and keeping these heritage sites would also, create opportunities for education of our people, both local and international visitors. So sometimes, as I am in the United States at the moment, I have conversations all the time with researchers and cultural researchers and art historians. What they tell me is that, well, we don't have access to Akwa Ibom State. Not much has been written about our culture, even though our cultural artifacts are in museums around the world, but not so much information has been given. So this sort of encouragement will now encourage people to come in and research more, so we can tell our stories properly. Communities through improved infrastructure, social amenities, and economic opportunities. It also would, to promote an understanding and tolerance among all of these different ethnic groups, and beyond that, to reach out to other groups as well. Overall, when there's money coming into the society, and in every society, the quality of life would improve a lot. And with, when the quality of life improves, health would improve, and all of those things would improve. In terms of, where I was also asked what the current situation is, I would say that I'm very impressed that the Akwa Ibom State government has already shown some commitment to developing the tourism sector. For instance, they are, right now, the reason for this program that I'm speaking about is to host the first ever World Heritage Day celebration in April 2025, which to me is a step in the right direction. This would aim to showcase the state's cultural monuments and attract tourists. The Commissioner of Culture and Tourism has also expressed a vision to elevate the state's tourism sector, aligning with the government development footprint. I think I would give a thumbs up for that, and we should continue to forge ahead. Akwa Ibom State possesses numerous unique attractions that could be further developed, including natural sites. Ibona Beach, for instance, is described as a world-class ocean beach, offers significant potentials for beach tourism. Other natural attractions include, the different rivers and diverse landscapes and potential for ecotourism that we have. Historical sites, like, the location where Lord Lugard lived, where the Nigerian Biafran War ceasefire was signed in Ikotabasi, the Amalgamation House. These are also relics of the. They are also relics of of the slave trade in Ifeanyi and Ikotabasi. There is an old church in Ibona. The old Akwa Ibom church that is over 100 years old, that was built by Scottish missionaries, and so on. There's several that we just need to keep working on to pay attention to and invest in, and people are going to keep coming. In terms of cultural assets, the rich cultural heritage, including festivals like Ekpe Masquerade, traditional crafts like raffia works in Ikotekpene, and unique traditions of various ethnic groups are significant tourist draws. We should continue to forge ahead and continue to identify these and invest in. It's also important to encourage private sector to partner with the government to assist in this venture. So my idea and recommendation is that that despite all of this potential, Akwa Ibom State faces challenges in developing its tourism sector, and these include insufficient funding. There's government negligence and over-reliance on petroleum sector have historically led to underinvestment in tourism. A lack of awareness and promotion, of the state's attraction remain unknown and explored due to insufficient marketing and promotion. There's no how everything now begins to lead to storytelling. If you don't tell our stories, nobody would know that we have a story. So it's important to do a proper intentional marketing of our cultural patrimony. Right now, we have some of the best airports. I mean, the best airports in the country. I could boast about that. We have some really good road networks. Let's capitalize on that. Let tourism be the draw for people to come in and enjoy and discover what Akwa Ibom State has. I mentioned about promoting a private partnership. When I came home the last time, I see there's a lot of efforts among private individuals, young people doing things on their own and sourcing funding from private individuals to either build a museum, to do programming like mother tongue incentives. And they always come to me to ask my ideas, what I think, and I do my best. But in situations like this, I think that the government agencies that are responsible for nurturing and promoting culture should partner with groups like this who have brought ideas. They should encourage them. That's how we all could all grow. No one person, no one institution has all the answers. But there are some people who have ideas and don't have the resources. Akwa Ibom State has the resource. It is not a poor state. It's a very wealthy state. We should put those resources into diversifying its economy from the oil sector. I mean, we should, in terms of, just have to launch a targeted marketing campaign to raise awareness of the state's unique tourism offering, both domestically and internationally. There's a program that used to happen during the Christmas time where all the local governments will bring their to come to display their cultural artifacts. I think that program started catching on. I was hearing families in diaspora here in America saying, this year I have to go home. I have to take my children home so they could know their culture. I think that is a step in the right direction. We should continue to engage that. After natives of Akwa Ibom will bring their children, then the news will spread. Other tourists who have no engagement, who have no relationship with Akwa Ibom would want to come and see Akwa Ibom. Researchers are going to come and see Akwa Ibom and see those traditions and cultures that they only read about. Maybe some missionary wrote about it in the 1800s. But now is an opportunity to show that we actually have a living culture that continues to exist. And we can rewrite our stories. We can write our stories by ourselves, not the ones that white man wrote about us. When I was saying all of these things, I mean, initially when I introduced myself, I mentioned all the things all the little achievement that I've been able to achieve as a visual artist, and the international recognition that I've had. I just want to point out that while I listed all of those achievements was because I personally don't believe that would have been possible if I hadn't invested my interest or dug into the culture of Akwa Ibom, of my Ibibio people, of my ancestry, to be able to express myself artistically. Every time I dig into it, I find out how rich it is. It nurtures my art. And I'm very grateful that the world has also seen that every time I present my work, I'm always, I don't think that's something that we want to be proud of. I think sometimes also it comes from a place of inferiority complex because you feel that other languages are better than ours. That's why we don't speak it. You know, that's why we don't teach it. We have to change that mindset because it gives us, it doesn't leave us with be confident in ourselves as a people. That's what I feel. You know, yeah, and I do on this, and I do on the tongue. If there's anything that I would want the Akwa Ibom State government to do, is to immediate effect introduce or reintroduce native tongue as a compulsory subject in Akwa Ibom schools. When you speak your native tongue, I think it gives you that sense of a cultural identity, because you know your mother tongue is deeply intertwined with your cultural identity and heritage. It reflects the traditions, values, customs, and history of who you are. It provides a sense of belonging, you know, to the group and connects us to our roots. It helps to preserve our heritage, you know, so it gives making us to fully understand ourselves, how we are rooted in the spheres of things, you know. Researchers have found out that, you know, that learning your mother tongue, especially in the early education, leads to better comprehension of concepts as they are taught in familiar linguistic framework. So this is not just something to make us proud. It also helps us, you know, psychologically, you know, as well as our learning abilities. So please, let us not leave our children without a sense of memory. Because, you know, if we don't speak it, it sort of feels like we're, you know, we're losing a certain, you know, part of our memory of who we are. It doesn't create confidence in ourselves. We need to be walking around the world as confident people. That when you say that you're an Ibibio person or you're a Akwa Ibom person, you know that you have a confidence and you could reach back into your culture, because within language you find history, within language you find culture, within language you find just a psychological boost of being confident in your skin. That was my small take note, and I really appreciate the opportunity to air my little what I know and what I think. And as a cultural producer myself, these are some of the things that had helped me to be at least where I am in the world today. And I really appreciate the opportunity. So thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much, Dr. Victor Ekbuk. Thank you so much indeed. That keynote came all the way from Washington, D.C., and we thank you so much for your time. We effect a pause at this time and take a cultural performance from the Council of Arts and Culture. Imagine from that performance, the remarks on the theme by our guest speaker. Welcome commissioners who have continued to join us on this occasion. Mekridado Commissioner for Trade and Investment, Akwa Ibom State. Emil Boreno, Commissioner Nyen. Mr. Bongyang, thank you so much indeed. Bongyang PhD, thank you so much indeed for coming. Thank you so much. We welcome you spatially. Council for Arts and Culture, take the next 5 minutes. Right on the heels of that, you hear that the remarks on the theme by the guest speaker on this occasion. Council for Arts and Culture, please. for Council for Arts and Culture. Every one also say commissioner. It's a commissioner as well. Even when it's your say. Commissioner represent commissioner on the dance floor. Commissioner. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Commissioner in charge of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Council for Arts and Culture. Thank you. Adi, Emiko Moye, Mr. Bongo Bassi, Emiko Kwaibom City, so some 3089. Mesunu Yonkoro Yeneka Minoko, the next item. MC Young, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Courage Mbon. Your Excellency, distinguished guest, Department of History and International Studies at the University of Uyo, is in African Historical Dynamics and Chieftaincy Institution. Anyedo, Otwe Konga Farai Fiad.
Ni unen yengene yo keme adidami from state during this golden era mo ya ba sedio ngoye my family mo kinyo bong in Jesus Christ asaku ke musongoro ndanko mpariba edino yo ukpono ke anyero ke tiere ki would governor akenko yongoni representative ke represent Kenya Kenu tamuse nu soro sen fanami. Boya ba sedio ngoye ke yinga bong Jesus Christ. Recognize nko you appreciate the Honorable Commissioner for Culture and Tourism. Agergo tieroba atak bang waisure dinam agenya marum. Boya ba sedio ngoye. Yirgo wemfenikan Honorable Dr. Anieti Urofia. A political scientist. You for foot me commissioners, be a man of fun. Membe acknowledge ke nyang nkono ke tu itu ndutamukwe mwed ake amimba ageset ina mampo ibandungo ubonompo mboyset ye dange keme arinam kini ntme. That is conflict about agirong megu for abasi. And you go one fen e kana ye roke age kama ki tendu tomke kwa ibo steru ya ke the Ministry of Information and now the Honorable Commissioner for Special Duties and Ibom Deep Sea Port. Aro yine me Honorable Doctor to be in yebong ememabong so song mbok me ari pasku ke mufangaro Been a man often because Mpondo to make by song, Mubunum Podomi. Minemasrete that Kenyan Kelfornian, and Sido, the father of the day. Akergo, Okwibo Mibibio. Akenko Yongodo, President General of Akwa Ibom State Supreme Council of Traditional Rulers. His Eminence, Ntenyen Dr. Solomon D. Etuk, JP, CFR. Yabasudi on Fien, ye free Mbok, maybe in Mbo, Siarginiaka. Kefra Fat me wo se Mike recognized. Kefra Fat me wo Siri, everything recognized. Make refer me commissioners, members of the State House of Assembly, ably represented by one of them who is also my brother in the department. Before I go to acknowledge Honorable Lawrence Yabasudiongfien, one of the members of my reputable and prestigious Department of History and International Studies. Thank you very much. I want to plead that I be allowed to connect myself to the already established protocol so that when Tom say I can ante nsananjak no nditoite menditoy kanyen isong adurukana isong nutom isong ubunumpo isong aduwekpe isong ima oh ibane medi Ibane make it ayaya akbero yaya you say presenting me with this opportunity and which is located in the southern part of Nigeria and region of Nigeria is a treasure. The potential of cultural heritage as a driver are traceable to our rich history and relationships with the outside world. Akwa Ibom State, as pointed out by such scholars as Otobasi Akpad, who in 2004 wrote the chronicling of Akwa Ibom and its people, was the hub of the colonial economic, religious, and political activities. Because beginning from the time of the oil river economy, beginning from the time of slave trade economy, beginning from the time of the coloniality itself, when the white man left his home and came here to rule over our people, we see that a lot of many things that followed and happened had escaped documentation. And what we have documented and left is some of them are very misleading. For instance, let me draw our attention to the name Ngwangiba, which Ngwangiba, what the white man wrote and left behind for us is Ngwaniba. Ngwaniba. That is part of our heritage, which we inherited. And some of the villages, because if you my member on TAT, I guess you my car. No Sofia Womadi, I been for Abasiedi, Ake Adibo Yabo Ngwaniba. Abo no. Because in the moment, Abasi. Afia would get Kibono Miamaka, Idion Abasi. Am I the young Abasi? White ye, Ese, Kuro, Wo, Abasi. They were so confused. I'm more mum. Abasi, Bozo was taken them work at a Basi. Basi is meaningless because it is not rooted in our culture. So these are kind of the heritage that the white man left behind. You go to some of the villages, for instance, Nsukara. That was never a name of a village or a person or a heritage. These people had gone there Ekeyemari established the Catholic Church. The man wondered, are you telling me that Nsukara is the name of the village head, or the name is the name of the village head, or the name of the village? This is as Crowley et al. Have propounded in 2022. In Nigeria, goals of culture and especially cultural heritage include stimulating creativity and developing cultural industries for the realization of sustained and sustainable tourism. It also includes utilizing arts and culture as vehicles for participation in national and global relevant development initiatives. For all this to come to light and reality, there is considerable income and empowerment. I'm not going to detain us by repeating what the keynote speaker had elaborated. He had spoken eloquently on this. Of the new golden governor, how he's moving things and how he's transforming the political touch, feel, and then, connect with. And the other one is material cultural heritage. This includes sometimes buildings, galleries, natural landscape, crafts, food, market stalls. And this takes me to my local government. There is a place that is also a very important historical heritage. And even sometimes our people do not know that it is a market. That market is called Uruangbafi. Why is it Uruangbafi? It is a colonial relic. I am working on, my effort is still in progress on documenting some of these important cultural heritage that will also drive the economic development of the areas that these heritages of these sites are located. The second is intangible. What is intangible is you cannot see. It is immaterial because you cannot also touch, you cannot also feel. And this includes traditional music and dance. Ufo ison. Inege kwaibum. Asesene wo kwaibum ke Egypt mekidem. Kini mbakara ke akwaibum. Kero we kuripo. Ari yongon nutom. Ari yongon yang ebonum bok swan nutomu bonum bok isongirong. Moi kore no mbakara. And if I go no mbakara, it must be sabotaged. Then when I get say back a forced labor. Am I na mutimo making devare able market a fear one amutumo take ba a fear we don't want therefore what get work by a very bold man. If I get a fear we demuti ba a fear woman daka because I might see me a much say me I won't burn get fought so that in no result I get make a rutum Urion was on the Brook Street. I will get them by hard labor, strenuous labor, unpaid. So they employed and deployed every effort to frustrate and also sabotage so that Bakaradi is succeed. Ebo magrafia wona mutumo tikba. Afia we go one day afo. They encourage them, they motivate themselves. Ebo no, don't allow afia wo. They don't bong it on more. So say afia wo gebene every way could ukara mfia wo. During the period of the so-called the warrant chieftaincy that was introduced in the that collapsed vocabulary of Nigeria. Akwa Ibom make donated on Nigeria. But when on 23rd September 1987, medapandap mekenguket medausong metengin our cultural heritage represented by me mbong local government duob ekebe nedisia Akwa Ibom State, the 10 local governments. Some unconsciously. Again, you don't consciously sit down to after the colonial, after the military had slammed all the ethnic unions in 1966. They came out with Akwa Isobi my song Ibibio. Later in 1987, Mbogom Parawa Ibibio. Ake kako nitoe kanyina kerugo nang, eni TFA nang. Ake kako nitoro na yung eni Oro Union and so on. This is beauty in diversity. Senne mesretieti. Ndun kini ekono ke free bono medong together. Ema itangpo ibanga ibum. Forget the unity. How they are all united. Edi walk kwa ibum. Nyine ibum connection. Eni ibum hall. Eni ibum seaport. Eni even as of late last week. Eni ibum paint factory getenan. So this Ibom has come to Sanandian Bemiso, other than have numerous benefits, and this include job creation. In my this year isu itie inang afrafan mempomi afoyak that ke utum heritage me with young Indian because itie me yarina for challenge for other challenges. And these challenges will be addressed. Consider these challenges. Infrastructural development. The state needs to invest enormously in infrastructural development. And these infrastructures are usong, then hotels and amenities. Ikang that to 20 war Ibom power plant that should be utilized. Maximally explored. This will help in a long way to support and sustain tourism development. There is also say ekweben enamu karidong enamu bonompo nompo nenge fon. In the history of Nigeria, it should serve the interests of pre-colonial and post-colonial regimes. It retained largely untapped heritage. That is the nerve center of so many economic potentials scattered around the state. In comparative terms, it is an advantage that must be challenged, that must be capitalized by the government of His Excellency, Pastor Omobasi. If eventually established, I am recommending that Ibom Cultural Village will equally be an important oil and gas in terms of revenue generation. Is the Christmas village. And permit me to take the development and expansion of Raffia heritage to expand it. It's in another the brain basket. The basket has broken. Let it become a brain box and assemble all the brain, all the academics, the academia, and come out with supportive research efforts that will connect us to the attainment of the Arise Agenda dream. Why must we have the mechanic village in Uyo? I'm telling this to a chairman of Uyo local government area. If that was meant to be a village, that place is no longer a mechanic village. I don't know, either a mechanic street or a mechanic hub. In young itie ake adugo a village. I have been development. At that time, you have, based on this development plan of Arise Agenda, say the Inamke Mechanic Village. Eke code me wo, edi ipopu folk. Eke code me wo, any mechanic training institute. Ake train ke me wo. It goes to near shop mo trainer wo kusong isisio. By doing this, by doing this, by doing this, the Arise Agenda. Abi wam. Arinam pokem porosong. Yaba sediong, afrefrewo. Yaba sediong. Most especially, me teirong, ye membong, ye mempisong, yena keke negedi. The cultural heritage of Akwa Ibom State is a valuable resource that can drive economic development through the Arise Agenda. Therefore, I thank all of you for the attention. I thank God Almighty for giving us the strength and health and capacity to come out here. The love with which you do this, God will reward you by giving you long life, prosperity, and sound health. In Jesus' name. It's a song.
Associate Prof. Thank you. Man, thank you. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, that was a wonderful lecture from the Associate Professor of African History. And Ado, very, very interesting. When you have an authority in culture and tourism, and also an authority in the academia speaking. Quite an interesting lecture. Very interesting one. As I get from my mic, I'm able to elaborate exhaustively on the name, the institution of the name Nsukara and Nwaniba. But once again, let us celebrate the Associate Professor for that wonderful, wonderful lecture, which I believe we learned a lot. While the Associate Professor was on the mic, we had the 11th International President of Mbongo Parawa Ibibio walk into the building with his executive committee. His name, Dr. Akbarawa James Edet. The 11th International President of Mbongo Parawa Ibibio. Right about now, we will be having a mini documentary, today being the World Heritage Day, and I would like to inform us that today is also known as the International Day of Monuments and Sites, and it has been celebrated every year, having been established by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization 42 years ago. So shortly, we will be having documentary on sites and artifacts show here and educators shortly. Thank you very much.
Akwa Ibom. This beautiful land is a tourist delight. Whether one is here to explore, relax, or soak in the peaceful atmosphere, there's always something magical waiting for everyone. The land is green and serene, home to one of the longest shorelines in the world, stretching an impressive 129 kilometers. Ibano Beach is a crown jewel of West Africa's coastline, perfect for sunbathing, picnics, and 1914. Among the many relics preserved in this land, captives. Many died in the dungeon before the ships arrived. Ikorabasi is indeed a museum. Here is the mock grave of 500 brave women who lost their lives during the 1929 Women's War, a fierce protest against colonial injustice to women that culminated in Ikorabasi and other provinces, which ended on the 16th of December. And then a story is told of this Amazon, Madame Adiara Edem, a fearless daughter of the soil who seized a colonial officer's gun during the women's protest and broke it in defiance. She was the grandmother of Sir Udoma Udoma. Her legacy inspires. Again, in Uran local government area, the pages of history continues to turn. Here is the slave boat, a relic of the past that tells a tragic human story of horror and resilience. This floating boat once ferried enslaved Africans across the Atlantic to the Caribbean, Europe, America, and other distant lands. But in 1846, towards the end of the transatlantic slave trade, brave natives of Wangiba in Uran local government rose in defiance. They seized the boat from the slave masters, and the rest is history. History lies here. Nature is incredible. Here is the Blue River, hidden away within the lush vegetation of Edemidem at Ukanafon local government area of Akum. Liquid habitation offers yet another wonder. This time, the water is green. The Green River is enchanting, a natural treasure tucked away in the heart of Ibesipo Asutan local government area, Nigeria. The river is steeped in legend and local reverence. For generations, this river has been believed to possess powerful healing properties, especially for women in labor. Locals speak of its mystical ability to ease childbirth and promote swift, safe delivery, earning it a place of honor and awe in the hearts of. In Nsurubium, at the UNESCO designated heritage site, where a unique spring of life still gushes with life, and the famed and popular Itiarubium is located, the rich cultural heritage of this place is perhaps one of the state's most valuable cultural assets. With the recent interest of the UNESCO and the Ibom Specialist Hospital just by Itu borders is Ibionibom local government area, reputed as the final resting place of the world's renowned missionary, renowned for its exquisite and exotic raft. Here is Uyo, perhaps Nigeria's best kept secret. This city is a charm, a destination marvel. Uyo is peaceful, home to one of Africa's thriving airlines, Ibom Air. The city's landmark structures are both iconic and creative, like the 21-story smart building, the Akpabio International Stadium, the Victor Atta International Airport, the Ibom Golf Course and Resort, and the Arise Park under construction. And there are flyovers. Its solid beams of steam, rebranded with sunny colors and exotic murals, attracts. These structures are complemented by the city's incredible road network that has made the city a unique experience. Known as the cleanest city in Nigeria for 8 consecutive years, the city is attractive to tourists and visitors beyond belief. The incredible facility comes with 6 cafes and plenty of green, as well as a pharmacy and a bank outlet. In addition, there are 20 chalets, each with its own entrance, a banquet hall for events and conferences, and reconnection with nature. Maybe it's in us the people. We are friendly, hospitable, kind, and welcoming. We are the people of the city named after God. Akwabasibum, after all.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, can we please put our hands together? Emio Bogeno, the very beautiful presentation of cultural heritages, and of course, the beautiful scenery, sights and sounds of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Kaiso, you come at free will see what in front of me. Idido pat, Ikenen Yenida, Idiao Soro Usen Fremi at the World Heritage Day. You come a friend, you know, in Kebasaya Young and I waiting for him, King of Jesus Christ. The next item we'll take at this time, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, is a panel discussion on the theme. And leading that discussion, leading that conversation, is a honorary special advisor to the governor of Akwa Ibom State on culture and tourism. Please put your hands together. Welcome, Pastor Imeudo. Put your hands together, please, for her. But please, can we just keep the chairs here? Let's arrange the chairs for her. Thank you so much. She has a rich panel, and this conversation would last for just 15 minutes. The conversation would last for just 15 minutes, and right on the heels of that, we'll begin the process of winding down this engagement. We thank you, guests. Thank you, dignitaries, and all of us that have come out to celebrate this event. One more time, please feel very warm and welcome. Mrs. Imeudo, put your hands together for her. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Courage. Thank you. Akwa Ibom is song. Akwa Ibom is song. Akwa Ibom medio. Wow, I didn't hear a good response. I want to greet specially the representative of the Deputy Governor, our royal fathers, honorable commissioners, my commissioner, and all commissioners present, my permanent secretary, tourism components for the on the arise. How can we then turn? You are the director. Comfort Owana is the director of culture, Ministry of Culture and Tourism. And the questions, I will introduce them. Mrs. Comfort, you are the director for culture and tourism. Director of Culture in the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. And you have a vast experience in this sector over 27 years. We've heard from the keynote speaker in this sector over 27 years. We've heard from the keynote speaker and from the
mbet edu wemnyan ai si kam itom mi dem nyane dodo an ne mesre tete ami tie kitie nda pengen kan mi kpo me kama me kpeme mbet edu wemnyane etang mi ko e banga na nyini keme ikpinam yak medu wemem me tete nyan mu bonom kpo mendu tam am me tete nyan ye me tete nyan ke bonni no nyan yang nyini kama ba to nyin ko no iben iyari non di to ini son nyan bang medu wemem mu bonom kpo mendu temem akukpa adom bi tang banga mention siom kpo na maya bante mem kpo mi kanna ibono na akpe na abono nyini minido mentido am me tete nyan eke na mi no nyan idu sane fong freedom adokit isane die fong di to idiam nyini dam isane die fong iba isane die fong idam iden nyini isane die fong anyedo mkpo ne ke kifuna nyini dam aba senam akamba ite nyini yak nyini nyuto usenem aba rantum ma to nyini dikere idara yuri dian na bidu mai nyong ika midong nyin kere kit iki mani se ko ke yup awi topo ake sedo awom mi woko ke ya ifya ike mi da gbe pakke abi nam de biong mi bara e yubi ke mena ikpe tup eke tup anye ke nyini bonum ibu mai nyong ika mi dong kere kit ya imani ki
sitting over the culture and the heritage so that we don't lose it. What as elders within the community preserving this. Make a thank you, sir.
That's all.
Okay, sir.
Walk go yomi. Ikisi don't throw.
Amen. Okay, so thank you so much. That was a very, very deep and very rich answer there. It's a food for thought for every one of us. If we lose passing down information, I'm saying this because this is And
we have a problem of inferiority complex. Most Akwa Ibomites are very scared of their culture. They are very scared of representing themselves. Now I want to enlighten you as a youth. I want to first of all talk about the discoveries of what we call the Amanam terracotta. As a people, the Akwa Ibomites have been an age-long historical people. We are one of the oldest tribes in Nigeria, after the Hausas, the Igbos, and the Yorubas. A recent discovery, which is what is presented to you here, is what we call the Amanam terracotta. It's a discovery I made myself on antiquities which were actually excavated and discovered here in Akwa Ibom State that dates to 1,200 years and 1,800 years in history. This is all from Akwa Ibom State, and it is before you here. None of these pieces are less than 700 years of age, and they were found here in Akwa Ibom in different regions of Anang, Oron, Uyu, Nwangiba, and I could remember my first discovery took place at a place called Uraikpa. That was more than 10 years ago. And you can say it on and on. We need to invest in our stories. People are not telling stories. I was with Victor Ekbuk. We went to Ikor Ekbene to go and observe the presenter. What is the state government doing about the Rafia city? What are we doing about the Ekbu Oro statues of Oron? This is not about tribalism. We need to come together as a people and say, what is our story? And it starts with the youth, ourselves. So many youths of our days are naive of our cultures. They don't even know what Ekpo in Yogo is all about. They are not initiates of Ekpe society. And then when you talk about that, they say, old things are passed away. And let me remind you, the Yorubas are outstanding. The Igbos are outstanding because they have projected their culture. They talk about their culture. You see an Igbo man, you see his culture. You see a Yoruba man, you see his attire. I would advise, and I would say,
future for themselves using the creative. Now, going to our last panelist here, Mr. Mfonokon. Mr. Mfonokon is a seasoned artist with specialization in graphic, computer-aided to get our culture. We've heard get our culture. We've heard talk of them, the young. In your opinion, how can investors and donors support cultural heritage based on economic development projects? This is a project here.
Thank you very much. My name is Mfonokon Ndikono. I stay in Abuja. I'm an artist. To answer your question, ma'am, when I left, I had to take the bold move to leave Akwa Ibom to outside. And one of the things that our people really need to do, especially the young ones, we need to leave where we are to see what is happening outside our immediate environment. When I went to Abuja, I got to find out that every business has its own core and has its own trade secret. And I discovered the trade secret. And when I discovered the trade secret, we decided to take the market to where the people are. So I want to really encourage our people. I want to appeal to the government that let us encourage the young ones. Maybe 50,000. Then I'm in Podo. Now with the level of internet, you can also stay here in Uyo. You have your website. You have your good painting. Because we have so much. The Chinese, as we speak right now, each time in a Chinese embassy, I do into tourism. But I am when once a year, man, and I fucking now Chinese. The last exhibition I get Chinese. They say I fucking now Chinese in young Uriakwa. So that we really need to sell. We really have to come back home. I don't want because Victor, who is also my classmate, was also an artist, has said it all. So I believe that what the commissioner has done is a right foot. He has started something unique, and we need to really make sure that we follow it up from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mfon. I'm sorry, I wish we could take, the last round of questions from them, but we do not have that time for that. So I will just round up, so that we can bring this to a close. We're talking about cultural heritage and economic development. Our panelists have said it all. The history is there. The information is there. The story is there. We need the drivers. We need the young ones to take this. You are the creative ones in today's 21st century. You do not need to travel anywhere sometimes. I know Mfon said sometimes live where you are. But we are in the 21st century where we have virtual augmented reality. You can sit down in the comfort of your room and design whatever it is you want to do and sell it virtually. Promote your locality virtually. At least start from somewhere. More than anything else, take interest in your culture, in your history, and use it. Look at the economic benefits, the business part of it, and see how you can use that to finance yourself and ensure that you build a business out of it. Not forgetting the fact that, just like our royal father has said, and like our sister has said on my left, on my right hand, our character. Who are we as Akwa Ibomites? It's important to know that from what they have said, what is your take home? But what I've taken home from what they have said is that our character and our attitude plays a very important role in enabling us grow economically and become who we want to be as Akwa Ibomites, as businessmen in any area. So on this note, I want to say thank you to our panelists. Thank you for your time, and thank you for all that you've shared with us. Thank you, Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Tourism. We're grateful. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Kindly just step forward so we do a group photograph. Just step forward and stand just in front here. We'll do a quick group photograph and move on with the rest of this event. Thank you so much. I have the instruction of the Honorable Commissioner in charge of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism to say a very big thank you to all of you. Thank you so much. Photographer, just do a quick photograph, and then when you're done, you would step down to take some good handshakes from the Honorable Commissioner. Thank you so much. Your Excellencies, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we're fast approaching the beginning of the end of this event. We'll take a number of goodwill messages, take Her Excellency's message, and begin to engage our guests in reverse. Just 2 goodwill messages will suffice on this occasion. And I want to crave your indulgence and appeal, please, that everyone doing a goodwill message should end it in just 1 minute, please. It is important we do so, so that we can bring this event to an end. Let me start this series of goodwill message by inviting the Chairman House Committee on Culture and Tourism, who is here represented by the Vice Chairman of that committee, who also happens to be the member representing the good people of Ini State constituency at the State House of Assembly. I know he has a written speech, but I want to appeal that he just speaks from his heart in just 1 minute, sir. I know he has granted my wish. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, ably represented here, the Honorable Commissioner and other commissioners that are here, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to represent the Chairman, House Committee on Industry, Commerce, and Tourism. And incidentally, he's also the Chief Whip of the 8th Assembly. My name is Lawrence Roide, the Deputy Chairman of that committee. I am delighted to participate in this epoch-making occasion. This is because in our time, our state has joined the world for the first time to celebrate the World Heritage Day. It's indeed a special day in the life cycle of our state, considering the historical relevance these events hold in human existence. As we all know, International Day for Monuments and Sites, also known as World Heritage Day,
is a day set aside by UNESCO to raise awareness of culture and natural heritage. The need to protect historical sites and monuments and the importance of investing in development and maintenance of these sites. Like Ibn Khaldun, an Arabic scholar, rightfully pointed out, the past tell about the future. The future can be predicted by the study of the past. A society without history is doomed. Therefore, the importance of this day can never be overemphasized. The popular merit lesson can at Useikot, Ibn Beach, in Ibn local government area, and host of others. As a legislator, I must sincerely appreciate His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Moino, for his achievement in the area of culture and tourism. But we must all agree that there is no occasion more suitable to make advocacy for investment in historical monuments in all the estates than this. Historical site possesses a lot of economic potential that are not fully tapped by Akwa Ibom State government, and effort must be made towards this direction. Having said this, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
K. Iferemi. And on this occasion, Ayedo represented by the paramount ruler of Ibesikwa Sultan local government area. Meneken sono yombengembo sambok. Yeah, message Ayedo under 1 minute boxer. So song of Asudi Fienbok. Can we put our hands together and welcome the patriarch of the Ibibio nation worldwide, Do Kuibum Ibibio, here represented on this occasion by the paramount ruler of Ibesikwa Sultan local government area, as he gives a message of goodwill on this occasion. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, with due respect, love, and regard to the Minister of Tourism and Culture, the Commissioner, the all the important people who work together to showcase this gathering today. It's a welcome approach to World Heritage Day in Akwa Ibom State. Even though we are in a hurry, one speaker mentioned what we call the tangible and the intangible factors in approaching cultural heritage in Akwa Ibom. Probably the intangibles are those that were not written about by the people we conceived to have left some stories for us to follow, but none. Probably the colonial masters, they left us with what they wanted to see, but forgot about the intrinsic values which kept Akwa Ibom people, Ibibio people, united. The Ibibio people were not at any time ruled by any other people. They did it by understanding, shared understanding. There was no hierarchy amongst them, but were led by orders. There were no laws, but orders that brought about love. In the midway, I guess you might be car. You know the door back. You don't know where you don't eat your kid. I came in your capiswa. A temoria duty would ye be. A kaiton ite. A tembo me yemi got a phone coriba. A yausong a dio. A dio who got. I tell them be sang a day you got. A timing to good to see even who saw. akai na mutum enoite ite di ongo te jine mondero ibu biak akbong kan kese be dari ba antero. Even look at today case through for me the moderator coming akwai bomi song and here we see you. Those are the dying values. Probably to symposium I care about. God of them, the commissioner of culture and tourism. Yati anam bomi. Agbado be sang a local government by local government. Anya namabo. Agbabiara gong no to me yem. Boy kamagadinam non tengine, the tongine to make it all for. Barima yemem, yukbono, akaiso, gerembo. Kampom memfia will make it weti banga culture, tradition, love, dance, music. Odom boy ni be yem musong, I went boy banga. And the tongine keki yoni magu wen bo. Them frame egbe you wen where you auto form. Ide be ki go dang ido nyanaba. So many can bang and bo, ya isini them go wen bo. Ya isini them can you Newton boom from time to time. But you know the dying culture, the dying values, and you near Bakaiso they revived. Makoma friend in Sidoride. I mean, do Quim no Quibum. And you go Monday young come a frewo. A book in Tasama sang to Mama. Kessia Taranan. Skesse Teronam, Commissioner Nam from Kanamai Titi. Yaden the Kanamai Wakakanamiki swacket. A tangy coin, neme. A conum board of bamboo on a kangwet. Come fear work at the nake. Iki wet to Tom body bono. But I do the Kitty. It's a song.
Ladies and gentlemen, Emio Boreno, representative of Kuibu Mibibio. Thank you so much. Menam kipai kan Emio Boreno, Bono Canado. Paramarula Mufono Simu Anewuten Waiko Magarame. Please put your hands together for the very learned Paramount to Love Ibesic City and local government area. Thank you so much. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much. While His Eminence being represented here was speaking, we had the arrival of a distinguished senator representing Akwa Ibom State South Senatorial District at the National Assembly. Distinguished Senator Ekong Samson, PhD, and his dear wife, Mrs. Martina Ekong Samson. Please put your hands together for them. Thank you so much for coming to celebrate us. Thank you so much indeed. Let me invite my friend Anefiok to come and introduce the Deputy Governor for Her Excellency's remark. Anefiok, please.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, we'll be inviting Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, former Commissioner for Culture and Commerce, to give her remarks. She is here represented by the Special Assistant to the Governor on Boundary Matters, Elder Okokun Ofi. Please, a round of applause.
Thank you very much at this moment. The Honorable Commissioner, Culture and Tourism, Dr. Nieti Sewo Udofia. The Honorable Commissioners here present, the distinguished senator representing Akwa Ibom South, Dr. Ekong, members of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly here present, Argon Chairman represented here, the paramount rulers, our revered fathers, especially the Okwi Ibom Bibio here being represented, Okwi Ibom Bibio and the President General of Akwa Ibom State Supreme Council of Traditional Rulers, His Eminence Ntenyin Dr. Solomon Daniel Etuk JP, CFR, here ably represented by the Paramula of Ibesikpo Asutan local government, the Paramula of Uyo, our Edidem Silvanus Ukon and spouse, all other traditional rulers here present, members of Art and Culture Council in Akwa Ibom State, the Queen and Kings of Akwa Ibom State here present, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of us for finding time to come here today to this important occasion of the 2025 World Heritage Day. It's just a summary of all that has been. It's just a summary of all that has been said here today. Uyo, this day, Saturday, 19th April, 2025. I consider it a huge honor to be invited to grace this event as guest of honor. Today, the Akwa Ibom State government, through the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, is joining the rest of the world to mark the 2025 World Heritage Day. As an administration which is working assiduously to diversify the state economy from overdependence on federal allocations and crude oil earnings, tourism naturally becomes one of the irresistible options available to us. Luckily, we are blessed with a visionary governor who understands the revenue generation capacity and economic power of tourism. This is why he has carefully crafted tourism into the Arise agenda as one of the key drivers of development of Akwa Ibom State. Tourism is very huge and multi-dimensional. From the natural beauty of the Akwa Ibom landscape to hospitality, comparative advantage, as we boast of the Bibio Museum, Uyo, Ibom Plaza, Ibom Tropicana and Entertainment Center, Ibom Icon Hotels and Golf Resort, the 4 Point by Sheraton Hotel, Ibom Specialist Hospital, Gospel Akwabi International Stadium, Victor Tai International Airport, International Christian Worship Center, the 21-story Udom Emmanuel Towers and Relaxation Center, the remodeling of the Autumn Beach, and so on and so forth. So on this World Heritage Day, Akwa Ibom State has more than enough sites and monuments to showcase and invite the world to visit. I am sure, in line with this year's theme, this event will provide answers, as has been provided already by those we call out here, to the issue of threats posed by disasters and conflicts in our heritage. This is crucial because the destruction of these sites and monuments will result in the loss of our history and the distortion of our destiny as a people, as well as loss in revenue that would have accrued to the state. It is on this note that I congratulate the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Pastor Mo Obaseno, PhD, on this great event, which also provides a platform to highlight his vision and tireless effort at boosting the tourism sector of this great state. Permit me, therefore, to end my remarks by commending the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Dr. Aniedi Nsewu-Udofia, the Permanent Secretary, and all staff of the Akwa Ibom State Ministry of Culture and Tourism, as well as all stakeholders who have found time to be here today for helping to put together this colorful event. May the good Lord continue to enrich Akwa Ibom State in the world tourism map as a prime destination for adventure, relaxation, holiday, and retreat in Jesus' name. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Her Excellency Senator Dr. Akun Eyarinyi, here represented by Her Ex-SA on Boundary Matters. Thank you so much for that very lovely remark. Distinguished guests who want to kindly appeal in the paramount rulers and the traditional rulers. There will be someone that would come to attend to all traditional rulers who are here present on this occasion. Right on the heels of the national anthem, the Honorable Commissioner in charge of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism and the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Culture and Tourism would lead dignitaries out to inspect the exhibition. They would start with looking at the terracotta, the Manam terracotta. We heard during the panel so ably represented. We thank our father, the Intention, and of course, the representative of Our Excellency. My name is Courage Mbona, and this is where we say our bye-byes. I'm going to crave your indulgence and ask that we kindly rise as we take Nigeria's national anthem. The Council for Arts and Culture Band would give us some good Akwa Ibom tune, while the Honorable Commissioner and the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Culture and Tourism would lead our guests and dignitaries first to the Manam Terracotta. The Manam Terracotta archaeological findings from across Akwa Ibom states. Please, let's just clear the way. Let's clear the way for the dignitaries first. Let's clear the way for the dignitaries first, please. The Permanent Secretary.
This beautiful land is a tourist delight. Whether one is here to explore, relax, or soak in the peaceful atmosphere, there's always something magical waiting for everyone. The land is green and serene.
To 477 BC. This is a window to the technological development in the area of pottery of the indigenous people of Akwa Ibom State as far back the 5th and 6th century. Finally, Your Excellency, we have here the figurine, still from the 720 BC to 477 BC. The Ibibio ancestral figurines used as statue markers on burial rites and tombs.
Your Excellency would move over to the back of the hall for other exhibitions. Kindly clear the way, please. Gentlemen of the protocol, please kindly clear the way for us. Thank you.
Some beautiful masks here. Excellency, we also have here Abodum. We have Udorene.
Joseph, tourism officer, government. These are the ancient artifacts of Eket. We call the real name is Eket, not Eket. Eket local government areas. You're welcome, sirs. This is the Ngong of Eket. Ngong masquerade that opens the mouth. This is we use this one when we want to install the This is the ancient currency of Eket. We call it Akpo Eket. This is the currency of Eket in the 18th century. This is Abodom. Abodom is that drum when the paramount ruler or the traditional ruler wants to summon the community. They will play this Abodom. It's usually bigger than this, but we brought this size so that we can convey to this place. This is Akankam Ukwisong. This Akankam is like a weapon that the Ukwisong of Eket uses. Please don't go near the traditional ruler when he is holding this. And when you have done something wrong, please stay far away from the traditional ruler. This was used in the 18th century too. This is called Ako. We use this one to store kai kai, usually used during burial ceremonies. This is Ato too. We use this one to store palm wine. We pour the palm wine inside this. It is called Abo. Because this one does not have a balance to stay on its own, we formulate this thing to assist its stay. And this is called Aso. What's the other thing? I've forgotten the name, please. Let's not waste time. This is Useiket, the plate we use to eat food. An Eket man cannot go fishing without this. An Eket man cannot go fishing without this. We use this to catch fishes in the river. This is Ayoy. Ayoyeket. We use this as a means of communication. If somebody dies and we want to convey the corpse, maybe from one local government or state to another, we use this as Ayoy. Once you see this in front of the car, you know that there is a corpse inside. We use this tool to bring peace when there is land dispute. We insert this into the ground. When you see this, you know that you don't have to penetrate, you don't have to enter that land, that it is in dispute. This is the Aikbe bond of Eket. We use this during traditional ceremonies like wedding and installation of the traditional ruler and traditional paramount ruler. I already introduced Eket currency called Abo. This is the Esa, the first Esa that the first traditional ruler in Eket used. We still keep it up till now. Eket is a rich nation. Eket is rich in traditional artifacts. We are ready to show you more when next you visit Eket, sir. Please feel free to come to Eket. This is Akbe, a very, very rich artifact. Please, please, please give me a little time. This one is very important, used during burial ceremonies. This is what happens. There is this traditional food we call Udiaidong, Udiaidbok. Udiakwe. Depending on the size of the yam, we divide the yam into either two sections. We divide it. The married women of that particular community will cook the white yam, and they dab their hands in palm oil and rub on the yam. Thank you, sir.
Amiyo, amiyo, yo, amiyafo. Amiyo, amiyo, yo, amiyafo. Amiyo, amiyo, yo, amiyafo. Amiyo, amiyo, yo, amiyafo.
soul-soothing walks. Its waters and environs brims with unspoiled nature and ecosystem that supports diverse species of marine creatures and wildlife. Nestled by the beach just a few meters from the shoreline of Upenekang is one of the oldest churches in the world, an iconic tourist delight, the Kwaibu Church. Deep within its Gothic walls are tales of awakening, conquest, and spiritual surrendering. This is Ikorabasi, the popular Utaiwa beach. Its scenic view and unsullied beauty is a sprawling wonder. But this historic land incubates a history as old as time. It is home to the Amalgamation Office, the very place where the treaty unifying the northern and southern protectorates of Nigeria was signed in 1914. Among the many relics preserved in this land is the Bridge of No Return. It is said that no slave who stepped on this bridge ever looked back or returned. With 3 compartments designed to hold the most defiant mother of Sir Udoma Udoma, and resilience. This floating boat once ferried enslaved Africans across the Atlantic to the Caribbean, Europe, America, and other distant lands. But in 1846, towards the end of the transatlantic slave trade, brave natives of Wangiba in Uran local government rose in defiance. They seized the boat from the slave masters, and the rest, like they say, is history. History lies here. Nature is incredible. Here is the Blue River. Hidden away within the lush vegetation of Edemidem, or Hoabo community at Ukanafon local government area of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. And talk
first of its kind. So I can tell you that we are happy, the people are happy to have this event staged in Akwa Ibom State for the first time. Thank you.
Our languages into schools, whether public schools or private schools, we also learn how to teach. And the teachers teach the students how to speak our languages.
It's going to be a collaborative effort between the state government, being a Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Education, to see how we can mainstream this into our curriculum once again. I want to appreciate His Excellency, the working governor of Akwa Ibom State, the most compassionate governor of Akwa Ibom State, the tourism-friendly governor of Akwa Ibom State for graciously approving this day for us to celebrate the World Heritage Day. Thank you so much, and God bless you, sir.
About rivers, the Akwa Ibom liquid habitation offers yet another wonder. This time, the water is green. The Green River is enchanting, a natural treasure tucked away in the heart of Ibesikwa Asutan local government area, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. The river is steeped in legend and local reverence. For generations, this river has been believed to possess powerful healing properties, especially for women in labor. Locals speak of its mystical ability to ease childbirth and promote swift, safe delivery, earning it a place of honor and awe in the hearts of many. In Nsurubium, at the UNESCO designated heritage site, where a unique spring of life still gushes with life, and the famed and popular Itiarubium is located, the rich cultural heritage of this place is perhaps one of the state's most valuable cultural assets. With the recent interest of the UNESCO to develop the site and its environs, Akwa Ibom is poised to become one of the nation's most
deeply rooted in our culture, in our heritage, and we are people who are naturally very hospitable. celebrating the World Heritage Day today, it's something everyone identifies with. It's a day that, we use to create that awareness about our cultural heritage. And more importantly for us, it's a time where we're able to reflect from the past to the present, how we have been able to harness all of the values, that have been given to us by our forebearers, and how we're able to translate that just from heritage to ensure that they become social economic benefits for our people in today. And basically that's what the theme of the event speaks to, so that it doesn't just become talking about heritage, but more importantly, being able to count the economic benefits that have come out from this. And you would agree with me, and then giving birth to many others of the same, we will begin to interpret and speak to the average acquired money. So for us, it's a way of us trying to speak to our youths and let them know that there is a lot to harness in the state, in the area of tourism and culture. It's not a time for us to forget who we are. Our culture is who we are. Like they say, a man without a culture is a man without history. So we are people of history, we are people of culture, and that speaks to who we are. It speaks to our entrepreneurship as Akwa Ibomites. It speaks to what we can do and what we believe in. And so the theme, I believe, for us this year is very apt. Very, very apt in today's 21st century, and then we're going to explore that going forward on how we can translate or use this to grow this tourism and culture sector, in today's economy, in today's Nigeria for Akwa Ibom State.
Very quickly, it's usually said in local parlance that Oworobio. Now the people who own the culture, could you just tell us, with the eroding kind of culture we're seeing in this dispensation, coupled with the fact that there is a need to preserve our heritage, which can be transformed to economic fortune, what's your advocacy to our youths today and the parents of this generation, such that we will be able to hold our heritage that we will hand over to our future generations?
Well, to our youths, we are saying do not forget your roots. Do not forget that you came from somewhere. And we want them to understand that the values our fathers kept are things they can use to build a future for themselves tomorrow. I know that we are in the 21st century where things have changed drastically and dramatically. Things are done in new ways, in new dimensions. So for us as a state, and what I would say to our youth today is, look, you can take what we have, our heritage, using the digital components available, digital technologies available today, and then use the same, and then build something, not forgetting who we are, not changing it, but use it more importantly, which is what we are speaking to today. Look at the economic benefits. Use it to better yourself. Use it to better your community. Use it to grow a particular skill, like Let me take you back. We have the economic craft time today. These crafts and these values our forebearers left behind. Powers the youth, building crafts skills and getting the youth more occupied in things that will benefit them and engage them. Like you say, the idle man is the devil's workshop. So there's no way our youth can be idle, given the rich cultural heritage we have in Akwa Ibom State. There's no way. So the advocacy has begun, and that is what the Ministry of Culture and Tourism is doing through the Honorary Commissioner. So it's for us to continue with this advocacy and let the youth know that, look, this is your time to shine. Begin to tell that story. Take the story from what it was and begin to tell it even in a better way into this Nigeria, so that not only are we going to market our state as that destination, but you as a person can equally showcase your skill as an Akwa Ibomite, who is very entrepreneurial and who is also given to the fact that I am from somewhere. I do not forget my culture, and I'm proud of who I am, what I am, and I will say that anywhere and anytime.
All right, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
It is very clear that His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, is very